Hello traders, today in this video we'll be doing a weekly market analysis for the week from 21st June towards 25th June 2021. Now we'll be doing this analysis for the pairs such as GBPUSD, Gold, GBPAUD GBPGPY, EURUSD and Bitcoin. Now before we start, if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, then please make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and also give this video a thumbs up. We do live trading on the London and New York session overlap, so if you want to trade with us live, then make sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Now on the GBPUSD chart on a daily time frame, we can see that GBPUSD, in our previous week's market analysis, we were talking about how GBPUSD, if breaks and close below this zone, it might make a retest towards this zone over here and then continue its downward movement with huge bearish momentum. And that's exactly what happened. I'm going to show a clip from my previous week's market analysis to show you guys how it played out. So how we gonna take the entry is that if GBPUSD makes a break and close below this zone, then we can either wait for GBPUSD to form a bit of a structure in like 5 minutes time frame, then enter on the break of that structure, or we can wait for GBPUSD to make a pullback towards pretty strong key zone. Suppose something like here, if GBPUSD after breaking below this zone comes to retest these zones again, then we can enter on the pullback of to that zone as well. So that's how we're gonna take an entry on GBPUSD. So as you saw, the GBPUSD did exactly that. If you go to a shorter time frame, like a 30 minutes to a 1 hour time frame, you'll see GBPUSD after breaking and closing below this zone over here, it made a retest towards this zone, the exact zone that I was talking about in my previous week's market analysis. And then right after retesting this zone, it came down with huge bearish momentum over here. Like if you all wanted to trade the break of structure that I was talking about, you could also take an entry after the break and close below this zone. Then then if GBPUSD forms a bit of a structure on a shorter time frame, then you can take an entry on the break of that structure. And you can see if you wanted to trade that break of structure, then that also you could do, because you see after the break and close below this zone, GBPUSD formed a little bit of a structure over here on a shorter mid time frame, like a 30 minutes to 1 hour time frame, right over here. As you see this whole structure over here, so you could also take an entry over here on the break of that structure as well, if you didn't take an entry on the pullback here over here. So let's go to see on a daily time frame what GBPUSD is going to do next in this week up ahead. So you can see GBPUSD after coming down with huge bearish momentum, it's currently retesting this zone over here and making some pullbacks. Actually, I think GBPUSD is gonna make its more downward movement all towards this zone, or even it might break below this zone over here. But before doing that, GBPUSD hasn't made any proper pullbacks. You see from previous weeks, all this bearish momentum, but they never really made any proper pullback over here. So I think GBPUSD right now is currently on its way to make some proper pullback. So what you can do is you can go to a shorter time frame, like a 4 hour time frame, and you can look for GBPUSD to make some pullback towards this zone over here that we marked, because this is a pretty important key zone. As you can see, all these retest points over here on this zone, and seems to be like pretty important key zone, and GBPUSD might make a pullback towards all the way towards this zone and then continue its move downward towards this zone. It might also make a pullback towards this zone as well if it's a deep pullback. So we're gonna see right now, if GBPUSD doesn't do that, doesn't come towards all the way towards this zone to make a pullback and continues moving downward just by making pullbacks, just by making a little pullback over here, then so in that case you should wait at this zone over here, wait for GBPUSD to actually break and close below this zone on a shorter time frame, just like we did, just like we talked about in our previous week's market analysis. So you should just wait on GBPUSD to make a break and close below this zone, and then take your entry on the pullback after the break towards any of these zone, or you can wait for it to form a bit of a structure on a shorter time frame and then enter on the break of that structure as well. Now we're gonna go towards gold chart. Gold already broke below this zone and also this trend line as well, that also we were talking about in our previous week's market analysis. If you go to YouTube and look at the analysis over there on the playlist called previous regular market analysis over here. If you go here and then go to this regular market analysis, you can see the analysis over here, what we did, how we did our analysis on gold on previous week. So let's focus on this week now. As we were talking, how gold might be like, you know, breaking and closing below this zone, and in the meantime breaking and closing below this trend line as well, and then like, you know, come down with huge bearish momentum all the way towards this zone or even this zone, and also in the meantime retest this trend line as well. And so currently gold, after coming towards this zone, it is kind of a, you know, like, you know, having a bit of a bullish run, and might be this is a part of a pullback actually, and that's what I think. So for gold to, so what we're gonna do is now we're gonna go to a shorter time frame, like a 4-hour time frame. And so yeah, like, you know, gold might be making a proper pullback proper pullback. So like, you know, for that, like if gold does break and close above this high, above this zone over here, then we'll be thinking like, you know, gold might be making a proper pullback towards this zone over here, or even this zone over here, and then again continue its move downward to retest this trend line and also this zone over here in the same time, before it moves out with more bullish momentum on the way up to retest this zone over here. But again, like if gold doesn't do that, doesn't make a proper pullback to this zone and continues moving downward after making small pullbacks, then we can take an entry on the break and close below this zone over here that you see on a shorter time frame. Let's go to 4-hour time frame. So if gold doesn't do that, doesn't make a proper pullback, and this zone over here is respected, then we're gonna take a short entry on gold if it breaks and close below this zone, and that's the time we're gonna take a short entry in hopes of gold reaching towards this zone, also retesting this trend line in the same time. So now we're gonna go towards GBPAUD chart. So GBPAUD chart, like, you know, having a lot of bullish run recently. You see all this bullish movement over here on GBPAUD, and it's currently retesting a pretty major key level over here that has been retested multiple times over the course of previous months and days. If you just zoom out on a daily time frame, you can see how much this level has been retested over the course of previous years or months. You see all these retest points on this key level, so that's a pretty strong key level. And if that key level is held on GBPAUD, then I think GBPAUD might like, you know, gain a lot of bearish momentum and break below this and this zone, also in the meantime break below this trend line as well, and come downward towards these or these zones with huge bearish momentum if this level is respected. Then, but if it doesn't happen and GBPAUD breaks and close above this level in the upcoming days, then I think it might, like after break and close above this level, it might come to retest this zone over here or this zone over here. If you go to a 4-hour time frame, you can see these zones better. So like, you know, if GBPAUD breaks and close above this level, then it might come to retest these zones over here, and also might be like, you know, make a retest on this trend line as well when retesting this zone, and then continue with its bullish momentum on the way up as well. So after the break and close above this level, you can take an entry on the pullback towards this zone or this zone or this trend line as well. Now if this level is held, then you can take an entry on the short side if GBPAUD breaks and close below this zone or this trend line at the same time, below this zone and this trend line, and that's when you can look to take a short entry on GBPAUD chart. Now we're going to go towards GBPGPY chart. So on a daily time frame on GBPGPY chart, you can see GBPGPY broke out of this triangle pattern over here that you see, like, you know, it broke below this trend line as well, and also this important key zone over here. We marked it on our last week's market analysis, like we marked this zone that GBPGPY might be breaking and closing below this zone. If it does, then like, you know, it will gain a lot of huge bearish momentum, and then it might come all the way towards this zone over here or even this zone over here. That's what GBPGPY is exactly doing right now. So it broke below this zone and this trend line and came down to this zone, currently making some pullbacks. My intuition tells me that, you know, GBPGPY might be making a pullback all the way towards this zone over here, and then continue its bearish momentum to come even down by breaking below this zone over here, all the way towards this zone or this zone, and even retest this uptrend line that it has been forming for quite a while right now. So yeah, that's my analysis on GBPJPY, that it might make a retest or pullback towards this zone or even this zone, and then continue its move downward with more bearish momentum. Now let's go to Euro US dollar chart. Now again guys, we're doing this analysis for a weekly basis, so that's why we're looking at the chart on a daily time frame view. But like you know, we do live trading every day on the London and New York session overlap. So in those trading sessions, we actually trade in a shorter time frame, like 5 minutes to 30 minutes time frame, like that, to take our entries. So like you know, it's just a whole week's overview of the chart. Then again, like you know, for the trading, if you want to know when we place our orders and stuff like that, then tune in to our live trading. That's where you can see how we take our entries on these trades that we are describing right now, that like you know, how these pairs might be performing in the upcoming days for the week. So on Euro USD chart, you can see Euro USD, like you know, after the retest on this trend line over here, it came down with huge bearish momentum, breaking below these important key zones over here. Huge bearish momentum over here. Now it's retesting a pretty major key zone right around here. You see over all these retest points over here. Now what we are thinking is that, like you know, Euro USD like hasn't made any pullback. Actually, like it hasn't made any proper pullback. So high chance of Euro USD making a proper pullback towards this zone or this zone, or somewhere around here, and then continue its move downward by more bearish momentum to all the way towards this zone, or even breaking and closing below this zone as well. So like you know, you can look to enter short on Euro USD on the pullback towards any of these zones, or you can or like if Euro USD doesn't make a proper pullback and like you know, continues its bearish momentum move after making a small small pullbacks over here, then you can go to shorter time frames, and then you can take an entry on the break and close below this zone over here, on the break and close below this low over here. So just wait at this zone over here, wait at this zone over here, and if your USD breaks and close below this zone, then wait for USD to form another structure or make some pullback towards these or these zones, and then you can take entry, or you can take an entry on the break of that small time frame structure that is gonna form in the upcoming days. So you can take your entries like that ways. But if your USD like continues moving upward by you know, breaking and closing above this zone over here, then like you know, you can look to take some long entry trading in between the pullbacks as well, till it makes its pullback towards this zone or this zone over here. Now we're gonna go towards Bitcoin. Actually, there's not much to tell on Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is still in that triangle kind of phase. It's still consolidating between these pretty strong key zones over here. We've been drawing these key zones for previous weeks as well. It's still in that consolidation phase right now. It looked like it was breaking above this zone with bullish momentum, but then again it closed below it, and then it's kind of like you know, having bearish momentum over here. But if I'm to give my personal opinion, I think Bitcoin, like it's like just like my personal opinion, I am not basing it on anything else. So what I think is that Bitcoin might make more downward movement by breaking and closing below this zone. It might make another deep a deep bearish move over here, somewhere around any of the zones over here. It might make come down by breaking and closing below this zone, and then only it would start to like you know, go up with more bullish momentum on the way up. But I think for now is that Bitcoin might be like you know, breaking and closing below this zone, coming even further down, and then continuous bullish move over here. So that's my just personal analysis on Bitcoin. So I would not buy Bitcoin right now. I would just wait for Bitcoin to make more deeper move, more bearish move under this zone over here, and then only I would look to buy Bitcoin if it looks good enough to buy the Bitcoin on the break and close above some important key zone over here like this. So that's my analysis on Bitcoin, so and also all these other pairs that we just discussed. So like, you know, if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, then please make sure to do that, and also follow us on Instagram. If you have any questions from me, on if you need any help in trading, then you can just DM me on Instagram page name is the same, RexorTrades, so just search it and like, you know, follow me on Instagram. And also if you have any other questions, again, if you're not like, you know, contacting me on Instagram, then you can just ask me on the comment box down below. So that's my analysis on these pairs. I hope to see you again on the next video.